It's fine. I know we're supposed to have an outline for everything, but you know how this thing goes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna shoot from the hip.
It's always makes for the best podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Always
Introduction.
shooting from the hip. I guess I'll be Floyd Lawton and you could be Deathstroke.
Uh, no.
Okay. Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right.
All
I was
right. All
gonna
right.
make a dead shot joke, but
Well,
whatever.
I was afraid this was gonna be a Will Smith joke. Nope. Nope. Too soon.
Not my dead shot.
Let's not play that card. You would have been fine with him you would have been fine with that movie if it was a better movie.
Yeah, of course. I would have been fine with it if it
Yeah,
was a
you would.
better movie.
I'm sorry, you would have been fine with him in that role if it was a better movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't think it was his fault that the movie was bad.
Oh no, I think it's like WB. No, not WB. Whoever. I think it's a lot of the script and the direction they're getting from the directors and whatnot. I
Nah,
think a
yeah.
lot of the directors nowadays, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to make a Batman movie. What should I read? Long
Apparently,
Halloween,
apparently
Killing Joke.
that director was pissed because he's like, I have my own. Directors have their own vision for the movies and all that jazz,
Hmm.
and to get a lot of the like input from the studios, going, hey, do this, hey, put more of this in, it steers them off of the course that they're plotting.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm assuming that James Gunn can't be pushed around too much when it comes to making his movie.
Hmm.
So the Suicide Squad might be, you know,
Because I mean, there's aspects, and this might speak more about DC's infrastructure right now. What's going on in the comics? It seems like there's certain people that just they could write whatever they want, and there's no like oversight with editors and whatnot. And then sometimes it's just I don't know what's going on with DC over there. I don't think they care about continuity anymore. So they're just letting their writers have like full reign over their stuff. Scott Snyder's doing good with his Justice League and the whole Doom concept for this year, but we get aspects like Brian Michael Bendis taking Tim Drake and renaming him, giving him a different code name.
what was the code name?
Drake.
It's literally just his last name. That just sounds like a terrible superhero name.
Hmm.
Like me going out being Davis. Like, oh man, that looks like
Well,
kind of like
he
Nick
he came
Davis.
up with Teen Lantern, which was just like I think she's Teen Lantern's like African American, and she hacked a Green Lantern ring. She straight up
Uh,
hacked a Green Lantern ring.
well, this was this. This is like the Thor logic. All magic, just science. That's you can't
Hmm.
explain, right?
Like I don't know how you can hack a Thor ring, but I mean Green Lantern ring, but that's Brian Michael Bendis.
It's
He Bendis works better in his own sandbox. He doesn't work well having to acknowledge storylines or status quos from other people. That's
hmm.
why, and he came out with Ultimate Spider-Man and whatnot, and eventually coming out with Miles. That's sold. A lot of people was on board with his Ultimate Spider-Man and stuff like that. And then when Miles got introduced,
I mean, everyone. I feel like everyone, maybe a year before that Sony movie came out, the Into the Spider Verse,
hmm
Miles entered the scene and then blew up, and then like blew up, and somehow now I feel like that's just died. Like this is dive off a cliff.
oh, you mean Miles' popularity?
Yes, I feel like he's not as popular as he was. I feel like his peak was probably when the movie came out. I haven't heard much about him in my circles. You know.
His story right now is it's okay. It's at a steady maybe like 7 for me. I'm still reading it.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing right now in terms of Spider People going on is the whole shit with Venom and Absolute Carnage.
I have heard about that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something you got to pick up and read because
Well,
that is getting bananas.
Do you think they'll adapt that for was it Andy Serkis's sequel for?
See, I don't know. There's a lot of different stuff going on with Sony and Disney because I think they're trying to get Peter to come over into Venom's universe, and then I think we're gonna get the whole reverse aspect of how who got the symbiote first. So the symbiote's probably gonna jump on Peter, and then Eddie's probably gonna get it back, and then that's how you get the spider symbol.
Maybe. I mean, it's Sony's. It's best for Sony's bank to incorporate billion-dollar Spider-Man into whatever project they want to hopefully make that also billion-dollar franchise. And Spider-Man, and unfortunately, Venom needs Spider-Man for it to really work. I feel like because all the fans of Venom know the backstory. Even the ones who don't, they have friends who do, and they're telling them like, "Oh, this is supposed to happen." Blah blah blah. Where's Peter? I mean, I feel like you can't really throw a rock and not hit Spider-Man at some point. But for some reason, they're just avoiding him in this movie because he's technically MCU, and Venom is not. How they cross that over? I mean, Feige said the whole Spider-Man's the only one who can cross universes. But I mean,
yeah, I don't know, dude. I really don't understand the whole. But I guess it's all about money between Sony and Disney. So instead of just saying, "Hey, let's have everything cohesive between Venom and Spider-Man," it's just, I don't know. It's just
it is what it is.
It was rough having Marvel having to sell off their rights to save themselves from bankruptcy and keep their company afloat. But at the same time, there's like real big issues that I could see coming up with them trying to implement like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and Venom externally into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Do you mean without Spider-Man? Because I mean, I know that Spider-Man crossed over a lot with Fantastic Four and X-Men because of all the.
But I'm just talking about where we're at now. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how they work all their external properties that they didn't own when the MCU started that they currently own now. So
the only way I can think of it is they could say that the Thanos snaps triggered something. Same way like they do you remember when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going on? It's still going on, but when it first launched, they couldn't use mutants, so they had to change them to Inhumans. They had a way in to incorporate the mutants, but they couldn't use mutants, so they're like, oh, Inhumans. They could use either Thanos snaps or what's that Inhumans movie that's coming out, and just say that there's like a secret society.
I know what you're talking about. It's not Inhumans. It's
the Immortals.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. Immortals or whatever.
Yep, they could use that to, I guess, springboard it, or they can use Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness to incorporate it too. Because they're gonna have to grab Vision from somewhere, right?
If they want to bring Vision back, I mean. So far, it looks like the Avengers for the new generation now is going to be Spider-Man, Kate Bishop, which is the Hawkeye's protege. I think we might be getting Stature for Ant-Man, his daughter.
Yeah,
that's probably gonna.
The time jump kind of set that up.
Yeah,
and I think the Ant-Man movie is called Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Stature, isn't it? I thought the Ant-Man movie they talked about was.
I didn't look that up.
I don't know why I thought it was maybe at D23. They announced something about it.
All I know is that they said about Moon Knight and She-Hulk getting a TV series on Disney Plus.
Yes, She-Hulk is getting. Is he getting a series? I thought it was just She-Hulk, Miss Marvel,
and Moon Knight.
And Moon Knight. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I'm kind of surprised that they're doing Kamala Khan so soon.
No, because I mean, was it Captain Marvel is a big part of Ms. Marvel's backstory. So having her out in the open for the last 5 years, she would have grown up if she wasn't part of the Snap. She would have grown up idolizing Captain Marvel, right?
Right.
So there's that. And when is that supposed to launch? Because that adds extra time. Because these Marvel movies happen in real time, right? With the exception of, what was it? Not Endgame. The one before Endgame.
Infinity War.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the exception of the movies between Infinity War and Endgame, those were like happening either same time or right before Infinity War. Because I think Ant-Man happened right before Infinity War, and then it ended when the Snap happened.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel was in the 90s, and then ended right after the Snap. And they were like, where's Nick Fury? So, say if Kamala Khan is 10 when the Snap happens, right? She's, I think, raised by her grandmother, something like that. She's raised by her grandmother. The Snap could have happened, killed her parents, raised with her grandmother. I know I'm going dark here. And then she's raised, idolizes Miss Marvel. She's now 15 at the end of Endgame. Parents come back. She's still idolizing Captain Marvel. Her series probably doesn't start for another year or two down the road, which pushes her from 15 to 16, 17. And you could even maybe say 18. Now she's old enough to be an Avenger.
Yeah, she could. Like I said, I don't know her backstory that hardcore enough to actually speak much about her, but all I know, so much as I know about her, is like from like the Champions, pretty much, with the whole Miles, her, and Gold Balls, which is now called Egg.
So unfortunately, the only recommendation I can have for like getting a quick backstory on Ms. Marvel is look up the they did an animated special. I want to call it, I think it was like Secret Warriors, maybe. I know it's on Disney Plus. I can look it up right now.
But, you have Disney Plus right now.
I do have Disney Plus.
How do you like it? Well,
I mean, so obviously time is never my friend, but I've been watching the World According to Jeff Goldblum. That's pretty good. I saw episode 1 of The Mandalorian, and I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I enjoyed it. All of the classics are there, like all your Disney movies that you would watch are there, so it's good for having my son can watch whatever Disney show. It's up there. And it being only $7 a month, it's a no-brainer for me. But Disney Plus is good. The only hiccup I had was, I think early on the servers were getting kind of bogged down. So like occasionally I get like these like slowdowns when I shouldn't have a slowdown at all. But like I said, it was a server thing, and it's been fine since. Yeah, so I was looking up, not under Disney, it's under Marvel. And it's there. Oh, sorry, Marvel Rising. Yeah, if you watch those, there's like 2 specials. There's supposedly episodes, but it's like 4 minutes each, and it's like 7 episodes. But,
give me a second, I gotta stop my webcam and gotta put some eye drops in my eye because of my contacts.
No problem. I'll keep talking.
Yep.
They go through, I think it's Captain America's protege, Squirrel Girl, Spider-Gwen. I think that might be the 4. Obviously, Ms. Marvel. That might be the 4 that get introduced in that first special. And then the second special, it also introduces... I don't want to call her the Wonder Woman of... It's like Spanish Wonder Woman, essentially.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm talking about?
I might know who you're talking about.
Let me see. I'll look it up. I'm sorry. America Chavez. No? Her powers are literally just... Wonder Woman without the lasso. So I guess Superman, but Spanish, but not Spanish because she's from another planet. Yep. That I know nothing of her, but that's it. But either way, that story gives you enough backstory for you to kind of figure out Ms. Marvel.
Gotcha.
She has stretchy powers.
Yeah,
That's it.
she's another Mr. Fantastic
Which
character.
The name doesn't really. You would think a Ms. Marvel would be like somewhere closer to Captain Marvel, but no, not at all.
Mm-mm.
But she's, I guess, a quirky character, so that's what makes her kind of like enjoyable.
Right.
Also, another thing that fits better with the streaming service, like you can actually do a few episodes to give you that backstory instead of slamming her with a movie and going, man, that 15 minutes of backstory got washed out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, seeing that we're like 15, 16 minutes in, probably should do the introduction.
Yeah. This backward ass.
Yeah.
Spin off.
All right. Well, welcome guys to the, apparently we named it Cloak and Cowl podcast.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Cape and Cowl, but.
Oh, my bad. Cape and Cowl. Now, see, professionals, guys. We are professionals. Although I feel like you would like Cloak better than.
Sure, why not? We'll keep it.
The username you picked was literally Cloak the Wolf.
Yeah, but that's my Final Fantasy character that I just stuck with. But whatever, we'll keep it.
It's all right. I can fix this.
No, we'll keep it. It makes more sense that way.
Okay. All right.
No, you might as well put, instead of Nate, why don't you just put Cowl right there? There you go.
Yeah, but I want to be Cowl.
Okay.
It's dark and ominous. Anyways, clearly the guy who's named Cloak the Wolf is actually Aaron.
Hey guys, how you doing?
The comic expert here.
Not as much as other people. I know a lot of stuff from like 92, 94 when I started off with like Batman the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, Superman the animated series, and X-Men. That's where a lot of my comic book knowledge started from, and then I have like a high school education where some people have like a college degrees in comic books. So.
Of the two of us, it would be years of college education, and I'm the GED equivalent.
Okay, then fine. Why not?
Yeah. So normally, hopefully, after a few of these, we'll get the structure built out, and we won't have a 15-minute rant before the episode actually starts.
Oh well, we're saying, we're like 18 minutes in, and we still haven't hit the chunk of the podcast yet.
Yeah. Let's see. To start, normally, I'd say, what are you watching? But I feel like you're watching.
Oh, you know what I'm watching.
So aside from the main topic, which is Titans, what have you been watching?
Besides Titans, I did watch the first episode of Batwoman. I was just thinking to myself, no, I can't do this.
So ignore the extreme cheese, right?
And it's not only that. Like she's probably a good actress. I'm not familiar with a lot of Ruby Rose's work, but as soon as they had Luke Fox, which is Lucius Fox's son, on the show, I'm just like, picks up comic book detective when they had to team up and whatnot. Okay, so they took Luke Fox and turned him into the nerdy gadgeteer sidekick of the show. Okay. He's the Mr. Terrific of the show.
Yes, because following the Arrow equation, you need hero, and then you also need techie, sidekick. And unfortunately, it does check out those boxes. Now, do you see what I was talking about? Where like it's shot really well, like visually.
Yeah, it's shot really well.
Yes.
Yeah, I give you that. It's shot very well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. The first episode I watched, I didn't even watch the. I watched maybe like 75% of it.
And just couldn't.
It's just like this is this more CW-fied versions of superheroes. And this is not a whole gay phobic or me being homophobic and everything. I never found Batwoman interesting. I know about her backstory and stuff like that. She's just not interesting of a character for me. She's more like a female Batman ripoff than anything else to me. I get to have that opinion. Don't at me on Twitter.
Here's
or
the thing.
like that.
I feel as though even in the comics they treat her that way to a degree. She, like, to all the villains that she ever goes against, it's just, hey, why is this lady wearing the Batman suit, right?
Right.
And it's not like a Batgirl aspect, because Batgirl has her own stuff going on. People will probably enjoy her more than actually Batwoman. But the only thing I remember before this show was, what was it, one of the Batman animated movies? They covered her. And
oh yeah, I think it was the one where Bruce got brainwashed by Talia and they needed her to go help. That was the one. Yeah.
Yep. And like even then, what was it? She was getting help from her dad, or her dad, right?
And that's the one where they actually introduced Batwing in an animated movie.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one. I think Nightwing was in that one too, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was. And newsflash, guys, Luke Fox is going to be the our Black Batman in like two years. Rumored.
Remember, rumored.
Yeah, but we'll get into that later.
We'll get that
about their method of what they're going to be doing with everybody. Wait till you hear what they're going to do to Superman's son.
Hey, you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully, it's still crossable and not on fire like everything else that DC touches.
For right now, things were a lot better when Johns was in control back during Rebirth, in my opinion.
I feel like there was other things going on though, because Google Home. Because Jeff Johns obviously good creative, but maybe not the best in like the management position. I feel like he's good at producing, but not running the entire show.
Well, from more well-informed people that I watch, like Kate Joel and Benny and people over at Comic Pop, they had made mention that there was rumors about Jeff Johns ran kind of like a strict house, and some of the writers didn't really care for that.
They want the no restrictions kind of thing.
And that's what we're kind of getting now, where there's kind of like editorial-wise, is this, how did you guys put this out? Because there's obviously plot holes with everything else. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people said that when it comes to like comic book stories, you and I can probably also agree with this. They tried the universe structured thing with the DC live action movies.
Yeah. And
almost all of the animated movies that came out were like standalone, and they maybe tied together a little bit, but they tend to be standalone. And they did very well. Their stories were really good. I don't know if they did very well, but the stories were very good. So I'm wondering if they're just like, maybe we'll just take that approach and push it to comics, push it to this. But the problem with comics is you do need the continuity for it to work. Yeah. Unless you're doing your standalone story, where you tell people in advance, this is, Batman Year One, completely different thing. Dark Knight Returns, completely
Yeah,
different thing.
I think DC's in a period right now. I know we're jumping around on topics and stuff like that, but they're in a period where they're making a lot of knee-jerk reactions based on what people are saying on Twitter and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind Luke Fox if this actually comes to fruition and we do get a Black Batman, right? I don't mind him taking up the Batman mantle if they make it feel organic. And that's what my big fear is that they're going to do something with Bruce like they did in Dark Knight Rises, which is kind of just like, oh, okay, he ran off with Catwoman. All right.
I mean, the time that Grayson took over for Batman wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just
Lost in time.
yes, out of the picture for some reason, and then he came back.
Yeah.
That could be the route they go again. I mean,
Well, technically, right now, after the whole City of Bane arc, which
you were all about that, Aaron. You were all about that.
What?
The Bane stuff going on, like Bane's the wedding, the craziness.
Yeah, I was. It was just like, oh, okay, they're gonna have them both get married. I was on board until Tom King had my boy get shot in the head, and I'm just like,
somehow it always goes back to Nightwing getting shot in the head.
And then Alfred's dead, and then Bruce's father from Earth 2 is teaming up with the ventriloquist, and like everybody and their mom knows that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Batman from Earth 2 is in league with Bane to try to stop Bruce from being Batman in this universe.
I can't. It sounds like.
And then ventriloquist seeing Bruce without his mask on, because him and I think what was it, last issue? Him and Bruce and Bane had a brawl with their mask off, and then Bruce just like wins, and then his father comes up, shoots him in the stomach, and Bruce is bleeding out on the floor, and the ventriloquist is like standing next to Earth 2 Batman.
Is there a reason for
with his mask off? I'm just like, okay, how many people in the Batman universe already know that Bruce Wayne is Batman now?
So there's that situation going on in everything lately, where like secret identities aren't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
As much as they're a thing, they're somehow in every piece of fiction. Like, oh, I knew this the entire time. Like, no.
Yeah, I can kind of understand why Bane doesn't drop down on Bruce's identity, because Bane doesn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
But you have like the ventriloquist that knows. Somebody can easily go out and just like, oh, hey, Bruce Wayne is Batman or something like that. They could have took a picture of him on the ground bleeding out and be like, oh, hey, Bruce Wayne's Batman, everybody.
I wonder if they know that burning Bruce's secret identity wouldn't do anything. Because I feel like Batman's a man of contingencies, right?
Yeah, he would have some way to disprove it or something like that.
He'd either have a way of disproving it, or would just go, well, I just live underground and do Batman 24/7.
Yeah, but then again, with Batman Incorporated, he went live and said, oh yeah, I fund Batman around the world.
I mean, you know, it's
comic book logic. It's comic book logic.
Exactly. That's why you can't get mad. And you said in 2 years they have to make a reason for Batwing to take over as Batman.
Yeah, and I guess after Tommy King's run, which he got cut early at 85, that they're going to have like a mini series of Batman and Catwoman teaming up. I think that's already started. I think maybe. Don't quote me on that. But
so the seeds are already sown.
Yeah. And now Nightwing, apparently their plans for him are going to make him a Talon now.
Is Damien Dark still a thing in this storyline?
I haven't seen or heard from him in a while, so...
Because
Damien Dark... Wait. I'm trying to refer... You talking about the dude from Arrow?
Did I say Damien Dark? I'm sorry. I'm talking about his son. Batman's son.
Yeah.
Batman's actual son.
So what happened was they got Alfred killed, right?
Yep.
Was that Bane pretty much took over Gotham,
Okay.
and then I guess with the Medusa mask, he brainwashed a lot of the villains. So you had Joker and who was it? Maybe the Riddler, I think. Maybe driving around in the police cars, being detectives and stuff and whatnot. That
Okay.
started off City of Bane, and Bane gave a warning, like if he sees anybody trying to enter Gotham or whatnot, he was gonna, Bat family wise, I guess he was gonna kill Alfred.
Okay.
And then, from what I remember from watching, Cape Joel, like I said, and I think he was talking to Sal from Comic Pop. They were talking about how, I guess, Damien infiltrated the place when he wasn't supposed to, and that's why Damien got caught, and Bane just like held Alfred's head while Damien was tied down to a chair and went.
Oh.
But then in a later issue, Batman sanctioned Damien to enter into the city anyway. It's
okay. So the reason why I was saying is if this storyline, Damien is a thing. I was wondering if they do the same thing to do with Superman recently, where he went off to have his son come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Damien's still a thing.
So
him and Jonathan are friends, but I feel bad for that friendship because they're about to ruin that too.
Do we get a Batman hiatus where it is the gestation period for Batman's second son, but with Catwoman?
I don't know. I don't know what they're planning on doing.
I mean, unfortunately, the readers will speak out, and they'll have to walk back whatever they do if it turns out they just want more Batman.
Like I said, DC with their knee-jerk reactions. So
yeah. I mean, when you're trying to put out fires, man, you gotta act quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I feel like we shouldn't hold off any longer. We might as well just talk about the main topic. I can feel your excitement for Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1. Should we talk season 1 first before we go to 2?
Sure. Let's talk about season 1 so we can refresh ourselves.
Okay.
Because this is probably going to be a 20-minute conversation.
So can I just let me pull up real quick. I just want to there's key points to this, right?
Yeah.
I remember going on the original podcast on College Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We probably went on another comic book rant.
Mm-hmm. And Joe and Albert just like.
Yep. And I was totally against Titans for every single thing it stood for, just from the one trailer. The trailer we got not Nightwing, but Robin at the time. Beating up everybody. I was like, this is just going to be.
This is Red Hood status shit going on right here.
Exactly. And what was it? The whole fuck Batman line. The Raven didn't looked weird. Starfire looked. Everyone just looked weird. It's like
Starfire looked like an '80s hooker.
Yeah. So then finally,
no offense to the actress, she's actually very charming in the interviews which I saw her.
No, but then they fixed her look in season 2. Technically, they fixed it in season 1 during the weird trippy thing that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I finally sucked it up and just watched it. I think when season 2 started. Aaron, how long was it? Was that season 2 that I started watching season 1?
I think so.
I think it was either right before it started again. I sucked it up and just watched it. Well, it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Season 1 was pretty good.
Yeah, season 1 was pretty good. For me having lower expectations for it. All right. There are a few things, and I see this trending even in season 2, that there's some lines they cross that in any other normal storyline would be a super no-no, that they can't walk back, but they do walk back somehow. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's Robin. Was there any precedence for this? Robin letting the guy who killed his family just let him die? on the bridge. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Robin, he finds the guy who orchestrated, I guess, his parents' death. Starts beating the crap out of him on the bridge. But there's another family that's come to take him out because he's, I think he's a witness for something. So they're gonna let him off.
Yeah.
But, yep. So he's like, I'm not gonna save you, and he just lets him die. I'm pretty sure that Batman would have a big no-no to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big no-no.
Yeah, I don't even think they used the name Tony Zuko because Tony Zuko is the one that killed the Richard and Mary Grayson.
So I think they were saying that this guy was the guy who orchestrated it.
Mm.
Not necessarily the guy who did kill it. So,
yeah.
He's responsible for his parents' death in this Titans universe, right?
Mm.
So there's that. There's also the fact that what was it? Red Hood, what's his name?
Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. The scene where Jason Todd breaks one of the police that came into the warehouse. He broke his back. 100% broke his back.
Yeah, he did like a wrestling move to him.
Mm-hmm. Also a no-no. And what? Bruce doesn't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember that's from season 1 or 2 because I watched it all together. I think it was season 1 still.
Yeah.
The Asylum. Do you know? So
yeah, I remember the Asylum where he got strapped down and he was having like fever dreams of him fighting himself.
Yes.
And the younger version of him was like smacking him in the face with the pole. I'm just like, okay, I see where you're going with this.
So here's the other thing too, right? At the end of that episode, when Robin's suit is burning in the thing, not only 5 minutes before that, they're in the hallway. Grayson's in the hallway, Starfire's in the hallway, a bunch of live guards are in the hallway. Gas lines going everywhere. She blows up the entire place. I don't think anyone's leaving that hallway besides Starfire. Just saying. He's sanctioned once again for an entire hallway of people to die. No walking back from that. Oh, it's no problem. Nothing. Now we go into season 2. I'm gonna have to go there. Season 2. The Superboy incident. All right. Aaron, I talked to you about this before off the podcast, but on podcast, you tell me if this was, say, I don't know, the animated universe, what would happen? Hey, we found out this guy's Kryptonian. Maybe we should call Superman right now because we know that Superman's the only Kryptonian.
Yeah, but it's the same reason why Starfire is African American and not orange.
See, that's another thing too. It looks like they're going for, as racist as it's gonna sound, that was it? Is it Tamaran? That's the name.
Yeah, Tamaranians.
So it seems like Tamaranians are the Wakanda of the DC universe. That's the only way I can say it.
It is. It is.
It feels like that. Like they're just going, this is the most plausible way of us to do it with the lowest budget. You know what I mean? I mean, clearly, I was gonna say if they did some kind of what's the word? Kind of like a possession thing. I'd have understood they did that, where maybe when Starfire landed, she inhabited this random person. That's the only thing I could think of to explain what was going on. Clearly not the thing. It's just that's what she came down as. That's her sister. That's the guard. There's no black people on Tamaran, apparently. I mean, there's no white people on Tamaran. Only super blacks.
Which was kind of funny because I think you saw the episode where you see her sister in season 2. You were on that episode. I thought they were going to do a twist. It's like Starfire's, African American, and then her sister's white. I was like, okay, this is.
I thought they were going to do the thing they did in every other version of Starfire, where it was just Starfire but with different hair color. I thought they were going to go, hey, it's the same actress, either with a different hairstyle or different something, like a attire. But at least we got a different actress so that when they do fight, we can tell the difference.
Oh, so that now Tamaran will probably be a bigger plot point of season 3, most likely.
Probably. Now, do you think they're going
We're
to?
not going to our planet. I know that they don't have that in the budget. They're coming to Earth.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that they seem to have the CG is higher budget than like your CW TV show.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I admit that, but it's also, if you think about it, the budget is for what, 10. Technically, we have 12 episodes, 12, 13 episodes this season.
I think it's 12. Yep.
Yep. So that's half of what you get with like the CW shows. So you
Yeah.
get
With that said, though, shows
right.
like what is it? Black Lightning get half seasons. This last season of Arrow is getting a half season.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's a half season. And did I already say Black Lightning?
Mm-hmm.
So Black Lightning, Legends of Tomorrow. Those two are the half season shows. And yes, you do see that their budget shows that they're getting like a full season worth of money for these condensed episodes. But with that said, we talk back to Disney Plus, right? They were talking about that Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Those shows are getting movie budgets, like as if they were an MCU movie going to theaters. But that's spread across 6 episodes, which I mean, yeah. So you figure what that really just tells me is that they're able to tell a longer story, but able to, instead of going like, hey, you 3 people who are interns, do the CG for the show, they're going, hey, ILM, we already have the check in the mail, just finish it up. I mean, it's just backing it from a better studio.
Yeah. See, my thing is with the amount of episodes that Titans has, and this probably goes for Cloak and Dagger too. The beauty of it is you get a lot more. You're able to spend a lot more money per episode, but at the same time, the storyline could be rushed, depending on how you work it out.
Yeah, that's always the case, though, right?
Right.
It's just, I mean, it depends on the stories you can tell too. Because if you're able to tell a good story, budget or no budget, the good story is a good story. Trying to think. I know that, like I said, I've been watching. Was it The Flash?
Mm-hmm.
I've stuck with The Flash as much as it has its highs and lows, and then more lows.
It came after season 1 was great. Season 2, I liked the whole thing, what they did with Zoom. Season 3, I was just like, I wonder if they're going to do the whole blue evil Flash from New 52. I was just like, oh.
We've said this though, that some shows suffer from you knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like Flash somewhat suffers from that. Like they want to throw you a curveball, but they can't really throw you too much of a curveball because we know where it's heading.
And then all of a sudden we get Godspeed, and it's just like, it's not actually August Hart. It's some kind of.
You mean the new Godspeeds, the ones that they're like, oh, this is the 7th one we caught this week. Like, oh, yes, that's a new season. First episode of the new season was them catching first like scene of the new season. They had caught a Godspeed, and then when they took his mask off, he sounded like an automaton. So it's like they're manufacturing Godspeeds somewhere. This most likely has to do with the second half of the season that they're hinting at. You know, when they figure out what's going on with Bloodwork. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a half season villain. He's not a full season villain.
100%. He's already peaking right now. So.
Which I like the actor that's playing Bloodwork. From what the trailer showed me, it seems like it's going to be a good half season dealing with him. But at the same time, I know it's just going to be more soap opera drama with the Flash crew.
Yeah. So the last
I think
episode.
there's like too many people on
Yeah,
the show right now that it's just like cluttering up stuff with relationship issues and whatnot.
there is, but I will say that the last episode of I know we were talking about Titans, but the last episode of Flash that was on was all about Cisco. Like
Hmm.
literally, there was only the scene in the beginning with Barry, and then at the end with Barry, and that was the only Barry we got the episode. If you don't want to count the AI, but that's something different.
Hmm.
Because in this, they've come to the realization that Barry has to die in Crisis. In this,
Right.
um,
And we
so
already know that Oliver is going to do something that Barry can actually come back because they're not ending the Flash
um,
mid-season.
so
Kid
right now,
Flash, I don't think Kid Flash is coming back.
I don't think the actor wants to come back, but that's more knowing back, season. I mean, sorry, like outside of the show, knowing that
Yeah.
happens. But here's my thing: they're doing this whole like, yeah, Barry has to die. Barry actually went to Earth. I think it was 2 or Earth 3, wherever one Jay Garrick is on. They
Hmm.
went to his. Jay Garrick married some lady who happens to be exactly Barry's mom, but for Earth, whatever. So then he has to deal with that, but he gets over it pretty quickly. Um, he gets into a device where he can see every timeline from every multiverse because he's trying to see the outcome of Crisis. So he sees apparently all the possibilities. Yep, go ahead.
So he pretty much they pretty much pulled the whole Doctor Strange with the time stone.
Yes, 100%. And going, the only one that I saw this working was Where I Die, right? That's the only way he can save everyone. They spent less time than I thought they were going to dealing with the whole Barry's like, I have to die, but I can't tell anybody. They spent maybe one episode, and then he's like, all right, guys, I'm dying. You have to take over. We actually know the date. It's the episode of Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? On that day is when Barry's going to die, and then you guys have to take over. So it's almost like
Didn't we already know this by the newspaper all the way back in like season one or something like that? They've been
yeah,
teasing this whole
they
bull.
have they've been teasing it, but with a crazy like date out in the future. And then last season, after the daughter came back and then got erased, the
Hmm.
paper got updated to when Crisis on Infinite Earths is happening in 2020, or yeah, 2020. Now, someone also said that that's there. Okay, I need to collect my thoughts now. They also mentioned that the new Harrison Wells, because you know how every season has to have its own version of Harrison Wells. This
You
is
mean
like
Dr. Harrison?
this is I forgot what they
Does
call
he
him.
have a phone booth too?
No, but I get where you're going with that. He is like the Indiana Jones character of Dr. Harrison Wells. Either way, apparently he's met the Monitor before, and it seems like an Arrow and Flash, they're both kind of hinting towards the Monitor that we've been like seeing might be the Anti-Monitor or something like that. So he's actually the one who's causing end of the world. If you watch Arrow, you'll also see that they have him doing they have Oliver. Oh, you okay? You got
Yeah, hold on.
it? Yep.
Continue talking.
Okay. I can always cut this out anyways. Let's see. What is he talking about? I couldn't figure out what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to lip read, but I was like, no, it wasn't an order for.
No, it was my aunt. She wanted to call and thank me for helping her move some furniture to there. That's all.
What a good one. What a good one.
Yeah, off topic. This is like real life thing. Don't whoever's watching this, don't you love it when family asks you to go and help them move stuff and they downplay the details of it?
Careful, sir, in case they watch.
Goodness well, they're not gonna watch this. Like, what's comic books?
This is true.
Anyway,
yeah, no, in the new season of Arrow, which I will say, Arrow feels like they're how many seasons of Arrow have we had? This is the eighth?
season 8. Yeah.
This is season 8, and there's 7 episodes, right? There's 7 episodes in this season. I feel as though every episode has been, this is a recap of season 1. It's like a what if episode, but for Arrow, where 1 second. What's up? No. I'm gonna have to open up a pack from downstairs. Alright. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so like episode 1 of this season was literally the earthquake season, but just condensed in 1 episode. Oliver was there to pick up the power source for the earthquake device, which was, I forget if it was dark matter or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was insert plot device here.
Because everything since Flash came about is all dark matter.
Yeah, I forget. No, it wasn't dark matter. I'm sorry. It was whatever Ray Palmer's suit's built out of. Yeah, exactly. Whatever plot device you want to put in there. But it was like if Oliver never came back, the Dark Archer ended up being Tommy. Laurel from Earth 3 was on that Earth as Black Canary, but she was essentially and I'm sorry, what was the guy who was torturing him from season, was it 6 or something like that? You're talking about the guy who killed his family. He killed his oh my god, I'm drawing a blank now. I think it might have been season 6. It was after. Let me see. He blew up the island that Oliver was stranded on the first time.
I can't remember. Deathstroke.
No, it's either way. Whoever that person is, I can't remember his name right now. But he was the the hood for that universe. End of that episode, the Monitor apparently wiped that universe out. It no longer exists. Earth 2 or Earth 3, whatever Earth it was, is completely gone. All right. I can feel your eye rolls because they were with me on that same one. The second episode was a Hong Kong season. Literally just that. So I feel like they're using these last episodes to kind of like a farewell to Arrow until leading up to Crisis. I don't know.
Well, technically, Arrow's not leaving.
Oh, did I also mention that the failed future Star City storyline they're going to try to spin off into their own show is no longer spinning off into its own show? And the last episode was like, I guess the Monitor's going to bring them to present time now. So we're dealing with Oliver and Oliver's daughter, Mia, as the reckless Green Arrow of the future.
That's what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Also, we get the adopted son of Diggle, who is technically, what's that guy's name from Spawn? Who's playing, not White Tiger. What's his name?
Oh, Michael J. White?
Yes, he's playing his son in the future because Diggle adopts that son when the mom dies or something like that in the future. Yep.
Can we get back to talking about Titans now?
Diggle's actual son, I'm going to dig this grave even deeper, turns into the leader of the Deathstroke gang. Because you know why? Because drama. Yep, this is the issue with long-running shows.
We're not even going to touch the fact that we have 2 separate Black Canaries. at the same timeline that's going to be paired up with the future version of Oliver's daughter. You're
No,
going to have Laurel, and then you're going to have
no, because
the last time I was watching Arrow, I saw two Black Canaries at the same time, which is like evil reformed Laurel. That wasn't the Laurel that died.
Siren. Yep. Black Siren from Earth 3, where everyone's villains apparently, or everyone has a villain counterpart on that universe. Yes, now she's a good person because she found her dad before her dad died. Apparently, the reason why Black Siren became evil was because her dad died early, and she didn't have her dad growing up, so that's why she turned to crime.
My eyes are like scanning the room to see where I can smash my forehead against for comedic impact.
Either way, returning back to Titans. Titans, like I said, I had some out the gate responses for Titans without even watching it.
But then again, if you look at the CW shows, it's not as bad. At least we're not getting mellow soap opera drama.
I think because we don't have to worry about filling an entire 24 episode season for 8 seasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Titans can get away with 12 episodes, and then
we can get a mini series instead of a 26 episode long drawn out. Yeah.
And I think if someone had the right idea, they could adopt all of these into miniseries, and they do well on some other platform, like a Netflix or like a Disney Plus.
Because I don't think the DC Universe app has long to live. I think eventually these shows are going to go to like some other streaming service.
So it most likely would go to either Hulu or HBO Max.
Yeah, the HBO was my idea. I was thinking about.
If they were to pull the CW's, it's not going to happen because it makes them too much money, I think. They were to pull the rights to it from CW. I mean, CW is owned, I think, by Warner Brothers. So it's not getting the money from anyway. But if they were to say use these characters on HBO Max in the way that Disney Plus is using, say these miniseries that are going to be on there that tie in with the movies, I don't need them to tie in with any movies. I just need them to be good. I need a good 6 to 10 episodes, and then we're done with that character or storyline or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I can condense all of Arrow, literally all of 7 seasons, probably into 10, 13 episodes. I think so. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we don't need as like we talk about Naruto and stuff. There's a bunch of filler that just a bunch of fat. Did Titans finish their story arc in the first season, or was that last episode a cliffhanger that literally got fixed in 5 minutes of the first episode?
No, it took that got fixed in the first episode of season 2. They totally was like, oh, people had a problem with this in season 1, fixing it on season 2.
Yeah, okay.
So they handled Trigon in a matter of what, like 43 minutes.
Okay, so it was that whole episode they fixed it. I'm like, it felt like literally I watched the last episode of season 1 and went to go watch season 2, and that episode felt like it was 10 minutes long. I feel like.
I think for me, the last episode of season 1 disappointed me the most because I thought we were going to get. But as soon as we got to season episode 9, I was just like, yeah, there's no room because if they actually did, it was going to be way too rushed.
For audio, like pointing to Nightwing.
Yeah, because I'm wearing a hat and I got the Rebirth shirt. So
yeah, I mean, Aaron,
gotta rep my boy.
As long as I've known you, you've always been expecting Nightwing.
Done right.
So I mean, the Titans, they kept alluding to it. He burns the outfit. He's like, I'm not being
Which
robbed.
I thought that was a very cinematically emotional scene right there when he was burning the suit. Because if you look closely, the R, I know because of the fire and the heat, started liquefying the metal R, the shuriken or the Birdarang or the R-Rang, whatever you want to call it. So it looked like the suit was crying. It was just like, oh, okay, there we
Wow.
go.
I didn't go there. You went
Yeah,
way.
so it kind of looked like when I was watching, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like the suit's crying. It's like, all right, so he's
So I honestly
saying
thought.
goodbye to all the burdens or the image of Robin that he effed up.
So I guess not a spoiler for the last episode. Did the last episode show Nightwing or no?
No, what happened is it starts with him. He's still in solitary, and he's having a fever dream. So Bruce comes back and starts talking to him inside the room, and he's saying that you missed something during the whole thing between Madeline and Deathstroke when he went to go apologize and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
another Bruce Wayne hallucination.
yes.
Okay.
And he's caught some kind of flu in the prison or whatnot. Because, you got rats or something like that in the prison and whatnot. So he's got some kind of flu. Let's just call it avian flu because, Nightwing or something like that. So while that's happened, Beast Boy is still being held by Hive. Or I think it's Hive or...
No, you're fine. You're fine. Sorry. I heard something in the back.
Okay. So, he's still being... there. You don't see Superboy this episode, but it seems like everybody's just like going their separate ways. Like Raven's still talking to the chick, and then Starfire's like having like a manic episode, trying to. She's trying.
She burned the guy that she liked, and her sister's coming for her.
Yeah, so she's like off, like getting drunk, and then at an arcade, and then she's trying to sleep with a really ripped, it turns out to be a psychiatrist in his home and whatnot, or a home she broke into. I don't know it.
Yep.
But throughout the episode, even with Dawn, they all are getting like Starfire, Dawn, Raven, and Wonder Girl are getting like these messages about going to this like Elko diner out in the middle of nowhere. Like it pops up on Wonder Girl's phone, and she's getting like a message from Raven, but it's kind of staticky. Starfire, after the psychiatrist leaves, like she makes him leave because even the psychiatrist is just like, oh yeah, you may have a manic episode because you went through some kind of traumatic ordeal or whatnot, and this must be some kind of like a escapism, and I'm the transitional object for you. So she tells him to get out. She doesn't sleep with him, and then all of a sudden, this commercial for this Elko diner pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So they all, Raven's friend gives her a tarot reading. So Rachel ends up walking out or running from her friend or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, long story short, they all end up at the Elko diner, right?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Bruce is there. Comes by. It was just like,
real Bruce?
Real Bruce.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't another fever dream Bruce. And
it's just like, oh yeah, hey, you guys need to work together, or something bad will happen to you guys because you guys are like family and whatnot. Motivational speech, a little bit kind of on the emotional side for Batman, I guess, but whatever. So the thing is, Ravager, Rose, and Jason are, getting close. They start opening up to each other. Apparently, Jason, after his parents, I think, died or whatnot, and before Bruce picked him up, he used to hide up in the rafters in a school play theater or something like that.
Okay.
and he takes Rose there, and they're like talking and stuff like that. And turns out they have something in common because they're theater geeks or something like that. So they have a love connection there.
They started doing that a couple episodes ago after his, he fell from a building and Superboy caught him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're starting up a relationship there. Beast Boy. Here's one of the big ones before I get to what's going on with Dick Grayson. Tess Mercer, you find out in the episode, is in a relationship. Well, she's in a same-sex relationship, and they have kids.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you saw that part?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so then did I watch it? No, I must have caught it half. I must have caught half of it then.
Yeah, you must have probably caught half of it, and then come to find out they were doing experiments on Beast Boy. They cut out like a back of his skull and did brain surgery on him.
Okay, so the last part of that episode I saw was when she was talking to the other guy saying to tell Luther that we have Project Rashasta and obviously Superboy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they mess around with his brain and stuff like that, and I'll go to the end of the episode. What happens with him? They're like Tess is behind the glass, and they have Beast Boy in a white room with the scientist, and you're seeing things from Beast Boy's perspective, but they're flipping back and forth to what he's seeing, what's in reality. Okay. So Beast Boy's there. I guess his hair grew back from when they, cut out his skull and was messing around with his brain and stuff like that.
He's a shapeshifter, so maybe.
He's from his perspective, he's back in Titan's Tower. He's playing on the product placement laptop with the green controller. I don't know.
Like an Alienware computer. Clearly, it's like a certain brand computer. Yep.
Yeah, and he's talking to Rachel, which is actually the scientist, but he's seeing Rachel and whatnot.
Now, isn't it creepy, this late Rachel Beast Boy relationship thing?
It was like that in the comics.
No, I get that in the comics. I meant like 27-year-old Beast Boy and like 13 Rachel. Is Rachel like what, 16 in this series? I feel like.
Yeah, she's young. She's a teen. I think Beast Boy's a teen too. I think. I don't know the expiration date on Beast Boy yet.
It may be like the actor's older than what he's playing.
But he's doing a good job as Beast Boy. I believe it. He makes a believable Beast Boy.
Beast Boy is another one of those reasons where I was like, he looks stupid in the previews, and then actually seeing him in the show.
Yeah, he's making big boy moves. He's I think he's going to be a good actor as he grows on in his career. But I think his name's Ryan Potter. But what happens was he's talking to Rachel and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm back. I was at whatever the place was, and they did brain surgery on me, and it was really weird." And then all of a sudden, Tess in the lab behind the glass starts playing the music. She hits the little keypad, the dongle, and you hear the music playing. And then in Beast Boy's mind, when he was talking to Rachel, all of a sudden you see Beast Boy. He's standing at the side, which would be more so for you guys. He's standing this way. Rachel is on his right side looking at him. And all of a sudden his expression changes and he goes almost like he's hypnotized, and then his eyes glow green, and then it switches back to reality, and then Beast Boy suddenly transforms into his tiger form and starts ripping the lab assistant apart. Like, he bites her arm off, he bites her by the leg, and then all of a sudden Tess is like jumping back because there's blood splatter on the glass. And then all of a sudden you see the lady come up and she's banging on the glass, and her right hand is missing from like right here, if you guys can see. It's like chewed off, and then you just see Beast Boy come up behind her and grab her by her left shoulder and drag her back down. So Beast Boy is mauling the crap out of the lab assistant. Okay. So obviously
this is like brainwashing, possibly.
Yeah. So they got Beast Boy brainwashed. After that whole Elko diner scene, Dawn and Donna, Donna don't want to go and save Dick.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Bruce knows what's going on with Dick, that he's in prison and stuff like that. So Rachel and
Another one where I'm like, I don't get how this is how they walk this back at all.
Rachel and Starfire decide to go help Dick. But what happens is that Dick fights Bruce in his mind again.
Mm-hmm.
No. Actually, before that happened, Dick kind of wakes up from his whole flu or fever and whatnot. Before that, the guards came in, had to restrain him because he got into like an argument with Bruce. Well, mind Bruce, and was throwing stuff. So he gets better. He gets up, and then all of a sudden, he sees a crow at the window, and he's just like looking up at the crow and whatnot. And the crow's just like, calls a few times and then flies off.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. And then he gets into an argument with Bruce in his mind, saying this like Bruce is just like, yeah, you've been missing a lot of stuff and whatnot. You're too wrapped up in your own guilt and your bleeding conscience and stuff like that. Leave your disappointments at the door. And he starts flinging, I guess, batarangs at Bruce, and then Bruce catches it, and they're back on the it's like maybe like a stage at like the circus or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But the floor is like black and whatnot, and the lights and stuff like that. I'm not sure where they're at, but you'll probably see in the episode. Bruce catches the batarangs. I thought they were batarangs, and he pulls back, and they look like they're the Nightwing symbol. And then he just starts sparring with Bruce. Like, Bruce starts beating his ass, and then...
So I'll have to... you know what? Don't tell me anymore, because we're going to have to watch the rest of this.
Yeah, you're going to have to watch it. We're going to have to wait till next time we do this. Because I definitely want to... I don't want to spoil what happens, but it's...
That's by the end of season 2. Because it's 11 episodes, or is it 12 episodes?
There's 2 more episodes left.
So 13 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're definitely getting my boy full-on costume within the next 2 episodes.
You're so happy right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Yep, and Darren, because you know how Titans episodes are named, episode 13 is Nightwing.
That the last episode?
Last episode is named Nightwing.
Yep.
So, I mean, if we don't get Nightwing, that's an issue.
No, yep.
Now, the thing I talked about before, how Titans has an issue where they make choices that you normally can't walk away from.
Mm-hmm.
How do we come across the whole, I don't know, Dick Grayson being on the no-fly list because he assaulted a police officer in an airport?
I really just don't hold. I really hope they don't go like, oh yeah, Bruce, like, oh yeah, I gave you a new identity now. You're not Rick. You're not Dick Grayson anymore. Your name's Rick Grayson. I
will laugh, and I feel. I mean, I'm not laughing, but it's funny.
Yeah,
it would be great.
Yeah, they're gonna square that circle, doing some shit like that. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, they could also just say that, you know, Bruce Wayne's made up a lot of money, that he can get away with stuff. Or they could even just say that I don't know, one of the contacts from Waller maybe, you know, kind of flexes her peck and gets him off. Because the only tease we have for season 3 is the Tamaran stuff.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
but I heard that we're supposed to be getting Kid Flash season 3, so.
Oh man.
I
mean,
that means Dick and Wally full blast. That's going to be interesting to see how their friendship is going to work out.
Yeah, but I mean, my favorite iteration of Kid Flash and Grayson was young Grayson from Young Justice. Yeah, so young Grayson, young Flash. I mean, those are the best. I don't know if we get, because they already did flashbacks from Titans. So it's not like we're going to get that when, early in his career. Actually, we could. You're right, we could. Because maybe he was friends with him back when, Wonder Girl, when they were like teens. Remember the flashback that they had?
Mm-hmm.
They could say that they were friends from back then, and Wally's doing his own thing. But I don't know, man. I look forward to seeing where this goes. I mean, you want to wrap?
Yeah.
Nope. All right. I mean, we're still figuring out the work of the show, how it flows. Clearly, we started 15 minutes in without even doing the introduction.
Yeah, so it's a work in progress. We gotta find the rhythm to it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like according to this, if we keep the same schedule, it's every 2 weeks, we can do another one. We can probably film one before the end of November and put it out in the first week of December.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, we'll be just coming up on, let's see, the end of Titans.
So you want to just have another one when Titans in instead of just having another one kind of like next week after the second to the last episode? Might as well just have might as well just have that one, the chunk of it be how we like season 1 compared to season 2. I'll probably go back and watch season 1 over and then all the way up until the...
Yeah, because that works. I mean, like I said, the episode airs on the 29th. The end of the month is 30th. So, yeah, that works. We can just record for that. So, look forward to that. And then, all right. See, look, I'm getting ushered off. Hey, Carter, come here.
Say hi, Aaron.
Say hi.
Hey, what's up, kiddo?
Say hi.
Look, Aaron, look. It's one of you. Oh, there we go. There he is.
There you are.
Can you say hi?
Oh, my God. Hey, what's up?
Oh, actually, he can't hear you. Hang on. Here's some headphones.
Say hi. Hi.
Hey, what's up, little guy? What's up?
Can you say what's up? Can you say what's up?
Okay.
All right.
Tell Noel I said yo.
Bye.
Bye. That'd be a good ending. All right. I'll be down in like 2 seconds.
Maybe we should change the name of the podcast to Cloak and Super Dad.
Holy shit. On that note. Oh, shit. See ya.
Yeah, you gotta go train your sidekick.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
I think we actually might get viewers for that one.
I think I should clip that out and put it in the beginning.
No, yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Later.
Oh,
I didn't
shit.
even see you throw the first
Oh,
one.
shit.